Now let's talk about a huge leak around the OnePlus 9 Pro. Now, this leak actually came from not the usual sources. So we've seen some renders from on leaks for the OnePlus 9, but we hadn't seen any leaks for the OnePlus 9 Pro. Along comes Dave Dave 2D, around the weekend, and supposedly somebody got in touch with him on his Discord, Dave 2D Discord, and claimed to have exclusive high resolution pictures of the OnePlus 9 Pro, which is still some time away as far as we know. And as far as we can see, these pictures do look legit. They're very high resolution, detailed, and I mean, I can pretty much say 99% they are the actual images of the OnePlus 9 Pro. Now, there's a few key things that we can see from these images. Again, they're not renders; they are actual images, so they actually match up with the design language that we've seen on renders from the OnePlus 9 regular. However, there's a key thing on the OnePlus 9 Pro on the camera modules, and that is the Hasselblad logo. Hasselblad is a camera manufacturer mainly around medium format cameras, very expensive, very well known in the game, very high quality cameras. And it seems like OnePlus will be partnering with Hasselblad at least for the OnePlus 9 Pro. And this is big because obviously it's not cheap to partner with a company like Hasselblad, but also because OnePlus has traditionally not been known for having the best cameras in the market. Now, granted, on the OnePlus 8 Pro, they did up the game quite a bit, and the OnePlus 8 Pro did have overall very good cameras. However, it still wasn't at the level of the Samsungs and the iPhones. Will this partnership with Hasselblad actually mean anything, or is it just paying a bunch of money to Hasselblad so they can slap the logo on and get some, hopefully get some recognition for it? And that is the question. So we've seen the likes of Huawei partnering with Leica, and that's been a long-term partnership. And Huawei do make some excellent smartphone cameras, right? So it could be argued that that partnership has helped because then they've had the photography expertise, at least, maybe not the video side of things, but at least the photography expertise of Leica into their cameras. I'm gonna ask you this first, E. Do you think the Hasselblad partnership with OnePlus will actually result in much better imagery on the OnePlus 9 Pro?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, and I know there are people who are out there going to say, but Motorola partnered with Hasselblad, for the little the Moto Mod thing, and I will put that aside as it wasn't a full partnership. It was also, let's kind of make something and throw it out there. This looks like to me it's something similar to what Huawei did, and I think also OnePlus everybody knows that Huawei actually did go out, reach out to Leica, work with them on these stuff, and OnePlus, I believe they're a smart enough company to at least do just as much. And I think I will give them credit for that. I mean, they've grown up as a company. I think they've gone far away to do just as much. And I think the positioning there they will give you is hopefully turns out that way because there was no Hasselblad logos on the OnePlus 9, but on the Pro to tell you that this is a Pro camera. It's kind of in the sense of how the Sony Xperia Pro is. Forget the price of that camera, but we do know that's a Pro camera. Like that's really set up as being Pro.
Separates
right?
it.
Very separates it. So I think that's even what OnePlus is trying to do here because, again, all their devices will have a Snapdragon 888, right? They will have all the specs. One may not have wireless charging, one may have, but when it comes to camera, which is what everybody wants, it's the same thing like Samsung says, you've got a 100x zoom. And, this year they've improved the zoom quite a bit. There's that separation of that. You've got a 5x telescope and you've got a 10x telescope. The regular S21 and the 21 Plus doesn't have that. So that's what they're trying to do as well as separation in there.
Yeah.
in that
So,
space.
I'll agree with you with the Pro, because if we look at the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro, there was a significant difference in cameras. I did a full comparison and I actually tested the cameras, and the OnePlus 8 kind of seemed like a checkbox essentially, which was, hey, look, we're still offering you a cheaper device, right? But the camera hardware seemed to be pretty much the same as what we had on the OnePlus 7T from the
Yeah.
year before, and it still had a 2 megapixel macro camera, which was just blah.
You don't like those macros, don't you?
Oh
No,
man, we're gonna have to talk about the whole 2 megapixel macro situation in an upcoming podcast for sure. But yeah, the OnePlus 8 Pro, clearly it was different. For instance, the ultra wide camera was actually using the sensor of the main camera from the OnePlus 7 Pro last year. So, they had definitely made a lot of improvements there. I think it's definitely positive, and I'm looking forward to it because it's also Hasselblad's reputation on the line. So I think from
Yeah.
Hasselblad's side of things as well, they are going to work closely with OnePlus. They're going to obviously have their guys on board, kind of looking at the results coming from the cameras, looking at how they actually how the cameras give that Hasselblad look, should we say?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's certainly a very, very positive thing, and I'm excited. I think it's something that OnePlus needs again, because they've always kind of fallen short for the camera side of things. Performance right on board, battery, all of these things. Screens, again, they've been doing really well with the high refresh rates. They were one of the first to come with a 90 hertz display. It's just the camera thing is just holding them back, and I'm hoping this partnership with Hasselblad will push that forward. Now, the leak it definitely looks like a leak, because there's some leaks that seem as though maybe they've just kind of like pushed themselves, right? And a lot of people talk about this, where do brands actually deliberately leak a few things just to kind of get a bit of hype, get a bit of talk? People start talking about it. All publicity is good publicity. However,
Also,
this
it helps
really
with the
does,
letdown as well.
it does partly, but generally, I think a lot of brands don't mind a few leaks here and there, because it does get a lot of hype around the products. But this really does not seem like one of those leaks. This seems like a genuine mess up. Somebody's really messed up in terms of getting these and getting them over to a prominent YouTuber like Dave 2D as well, and a big surprise, which I think they would have wanted to keep up until the announcement. That partnership with Hasselblad is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder how OnePlus is trying to do damage control right now.
It's a hard thing. I think what it is because it's, from at least all indications, the launch is going to be maybe, I don't know, end of March, maybe April, who knows? But it's not now, right? It's not soon.
It's definitely not now.
It's not soon. So, I mean, that's just rumors. So if that's the case, then, there's no need to say anything now. And I think you just have to let it go. Like, if you do anything now, you're claiming, and then it fully just destroys everything. I think what you should do is add a little extra element into the presentation, not the features, because whatever features you have, but give some extra elements to that presentation that says this is what it is and this is why that partnership went into play. Because even if you think about it too, I mean, I don't know, I can't remember how the leak came out for Huawei and Leica, but it was also early too for that one as well. I just can't remember exactly how, because that's like 4 or 5 years ago or something like that.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. So, but I know, I remember when we first heard it for the P20. When we heard it, we're like, are you sure? It's like, this is interesting. And then if I were OnePlus, I would actually reach out to YouTubers. This is me on the business side, and do some work with them who do camera videos. Just, do it like a day in the life or something like that. Like, you go use it, and so we can drop those videos in, like, it's already there. People can see. It's not just the hype of Hasselblad. It's like, oh, okay. Or like, even they usually do, get some professional photographers too, right? And some videographers, and say, hey, go play around with it and come back and add that to your see your
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, I'm very excited. Obviously, there'll be some SuperSaf style camera comparisons coming up on the channel as soon as the OnePlus 9 Pro is out, and we'll really see what the day-to-day is and how the cameras perform, not only from just photos but also videos. We'll look at all the different aspects. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be another big hitter coming up, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to hear the full podcast episode, then that will be linked down below. And if you want to see more clips like this, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss them. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf Speaks, and I'll see you next time.